guys, I'm FPL Nymfria and welcome back to the home of FPL videos after the longest game week in history of game weeks ever. You'll have to bear with me here as I've had a bit of a cold. I was considering not doing a video at all, but I knew speaking to you guys would make me feel much better. So here's a very quick summary of how I got on in game week 26 because it wasn't very good again, I'm afraid. McCarthy made 4 saves and conceded 2 goals for a total of 2 points towards my team total. Hopefully he has a clean sheet in some of his fixtures coming up. I didn't expect much from him from Burnley, to be honest, given their good run at the moment, so let's see what he can get us going ahead. My defence actually did quite well this week for a bit of a change. Adding Gomez in for Kelly was a massive help with this, especially as he managed to bag 2 bonus points along with his clean sheet for 8 points towards my team total. Trent being ever consistent with his clean sheet and 1 bonus point for 7 points towards my team total, and Lord Lundstrom was the big surprise. Seeing the Lord benched again was hard to take, and it did feel a little like I'd done the wrong thing by not getting him out for this game week. But he came on for 29 minutes and smashed it out the park with a goal for 7 points towards my team total. The Lord was resurrected, at least for 1 week. In midfield, it was a mixed bag. Traore and Salah were the letdown really. Traore is trying my patience with just 1 point. He has great fixtures and it wasn't his fault he was benched, but I can't help think that he's going to be very bitty going forward, so I really need to consider whether he's worth it. Salah was unlucky to not get more than 3 points, but it was Mane who stole the show there. As I've talked about in length before, it tends to be one or the other. They very rarely haul together. Grealish looked great and bagged me an assist, getting 6 points for his minutes played, assist and bonus point. KDB absolutely smashed it. He was amazing. My highest scoring player of the week with a goal and an assist with 3 bonus points for a total of 14 points. Moving on to my forwards, and Vardy is now 4 blanks in the hole, and it's only his fixtures and my lack of transfers that is allowing him to keep his spot in my team. He will be gone soon if this run continues, and that's what's been difficult around this wild card. If I play it, he probably stays even though he's not doing so great, and that makes it even more difficult to decide whether or not to use it. Aguero played as my captain despite looking like he could score at any minute. He frustratingly missed a mountain of chances for just 2 points, double to 4 added to my team total. It's only really Ings who bagged me something, getting me a goal and a bonus point for 7 points in total. It was all about Aubameyang, Calvert-Lewin and Ings this week, so if you had those 3, your luck was in. A little delay there in my dream on Calvert-Lewin, but it came through eventually. Just unfortunately not for myself. All of that means I got 61 points in total, again resulting in a surprisingly small red arrow, leaving me on an OR of 379,436. This is now my 7th red in a row. It's worth noting if I had have wildcarded last week, I would have been worse off, as I would have sold Lundstrom and possibly Grealish with his blank coming up. Soyuncu is the only way I could have added any more points to this team right now. He surprisingly kept a clean sheet, but I left him on the bench. To be honest, I found these 2 weeks very tough. I've been unwell with the cold, as I explained, and it's dragged on forever. Also, the thing about all these small reds is despite them allowing you to feel not so bad about your overall rank, and I appreciate that because it's nowhere near as bad as it could be, and I know a lot of people are worse off, but they are, it seems, from previous years where I fluctuated in large amounts, a lot harder to deal with because it feels like there's not masses wrong with your team. Like 2, maybe 3, possibly 4 changes could definitely kind of see you through for a few game weeks, but of course that means taking a -8, -12 in hits, because then it's difficult because you think, well then why not wildcard? But you're always just 1 or 2 returns of a bit of luck away from a green arrow. For instance, I was a green arrow last night, but when the auto subs came in for Mahrez, who didn't even get a minute last night, meaning people got Lundstrom off the bench, this meant I ended on another small red arrow. Very very, very frustrating. Looking ahead to Game Week 27, and this is how I'm currently lining up. This team is still worthy of a wild card, and I am still very tempted. I can't help feel I might have missed the boat with it though, and I might be better off waiting the next few weeks until we have the blank and double info in. I mean, it's only, what, 2 game weeks left now until we know that. However, there are the same people in this team that I would change as last week. Nobody's really changed my mind. The only thing that has changed maybe is some of the people that I would have got in. I'm really not sure, for instance, that I would double up on getting Stevens in and doubling up on that Southampton defence. Can we really trust in Newcastle defence, for instance? It's only 1 game week played, but it has changed my thinking on who I might consider for my wild card. So I am stuck between taking it and going with some of these new changes, looking more towards Wolves, considering such as players like Fernandes, for instance, and Richarlison. But we'll see. You know, it's really gonna depend. I'm very much between one transfer, Aguero to Jimenez, which is likely to happen regardless, and several transfers either for a wild card or for a hit. Everything in and around that is still up for grabs. Honestly, Nymfam, as I said, I really nearly didn't record this week. It's been quite tough times, so I'm hoping to find a bit of inspiration in the press articles and from you guys in the next few days. So feel free to leave any comments below. And lastly, moving on to the trending transfers this week, let's take a look at how things could develop ahead of Game Week 27. Of the goalkeepers, Henderson is still the trendiest player in this week with over 51,000 purchases. Pope is the next highest, but nowhere near close with over 39,000 buys. The goalkeepers making their way out are Ryan with over 27,000 sales and Schmeichel with 18,000 plus sales. In defence, Kelly has been moved on in spades with over 166,000 sales, likely owing to form and injury. Lord Lundstrom is the second most sold, but nowhere near with a little over 40,000 sales. Interestingly enough though, and we see this in only very rare occurrences, Lundstrom is also the most transferred in this week with 37,000+ purchases. Van Dijk is the next most brought in defender with over 33,000 buys. In midfield, Richarlison has dominated the transfers in. Over 126,000 of you have flocked to the Everton man. Mane, back and firing, has caused a surge of buys with over 103,000 purchases. Probably owing to Sonny's injury, he seems like the logical swap. Sonny's injury has seen him slip from the most transferred in to the most transferred out midfielder with over 188,000 sales. Managers have also lost patience with Maddison as he comes second most transferred out with 77,000 sales. Up front, there doesn't seem to be much movement still. Vardy is the trendiest forward out with over 116,000 sales, and Tammy is close behind him with 115,000 managers getting rid of the Chelsea man. Ings and Jimenez are close to fighting it out as the trendiest forward in, with both of them being picked up by over 140,000+ managers. Calvert-Lewin is the next closest in this week with over 108,000+ purchases. And that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to check out my sponsors, fantasyfootballfix.com. And before you go, please, please, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, Nymfria out.